Okay, so when you're doing these derivative problems, the first thing I would recommend doing is making sure you have the calculus cheat sheet from the first module printed out and focusing specifically on page 3 that has all the derivative rules and all of the common derivatives like the trig and the log derivatives and all that stuff. So um, once you have that, when you look at each problem, you have to kind of determine, well, which kind of derivation am I going to do? Which kind of rule am I going to apply? And is it just a series of terms being added and subtracted, in which case I could just use the power rule? Is it a series of things being multiplied, in which case I could use the product rule? Are there things being divided, so I can use the quotient rule? Or are there nested functions, in which case that means I'm going to have to use the chain rule? So it looks like I have three different things, 4x, sine x, and cosine x being multiplied. So I can use the product rule. And the product rule works for more than just two things. So if I have some function, we'll call it h of x, and that's equal to, let's just say, two things being multiplied like f times g. The product rule says that the derivative of this would be the derivative of the first thing times the second plus the first thing times the derivative of the second. Basically, you multiply them, and each time you're just taking the derivative of one of the two things. Okay, that's from the formula sheet right here. If I have the derivative of f times g, that's just going to be the derivative of f times g plus the derivative of g times f. And that holds for more than two things. So if I have three things being multiplied, let's see here. If I have the product of f times g times h, and I take the derivative of that, that's going to be a derivative of f times g times h plus f times the derivative of g times h plus f times g times the derivative of h. Basically, you're just rewriting the product three times, and you're just taking the derivative of each of the three terms in each term you write out. So here, f is 4x, sine x is g, and cosine x is h. So if I want to find the derivative, this is just going to be the derivative of the first thing, 4, times the second thing, times the third thing, plus the first thing times the derivative of the second thing, times the third thing. So this here, I took the derivative of the first term. Here, I took the derivative of the second term, plus the first term times the second term times the derivative of the third term. Here, I took the derivative of the third thing. So if you want to clean this up, this is 4 sine x cosine x plus 4x cosine squared minus 4x sine squared x. So that's going to be your derivative.